This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop. Get real.
Welcome to DBL. I missed you guys over the weekend.
Yes.
I know.
I missed your fake rating before the show. You always seem like you're scribbling down notes like Tom Brokaw.
Are you taking any notes? Remember Jon Stewart? He would just circle things and be like, yep. That's what I'm doing. All right, we're starting today. Let's talk about it with a man who makes a lot of headlines, Al Jackson.
Yes.
Just kidding. Elon Musk. If you recall, Elon spent $44 billion earlier this year to buy Twitter, but it seems like Twitter users may have turned. Elon put up a poll asking if he should step down as Twitter CEO, and a majority, nearly 58%, says yes, he should. I voted in that poll as well.
That's kind of almost split a little bit.
58 is a win still. Elon followed up the poll tweeting, quote, "Be careful what you wish, as you might get it," kind of threatening in a weird way.
I don't know if that's a threat. We'll talk about that.
Okay, DBL Nation, we want to know what you think. Should Elon step down? Yes or no? We want you to vote again. Come on and vote over here. Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Al, you have some thoughts. I know you like a brother. What are you thinking?
I do. Lindsay, would our boss Bert ever put his job up for a vote?
Bert, I hope you're not watching.
It's not something you do when you want to stay in the position that you're in. What he's asking for, in my opinion, is for an out. He wants to say, oh, if you guys want it, I'm here for the people, like I said. And then now he gets to skate away from this embarrassment and this disaster that has been this Twitter occupation. So I think that he's trying. I think he's looking for the exit.
I agree with you, like as far as him alleviating himself from the position, but I do also understand that he might still own it and just give somebody else the title of running Twitter, and so that would just make him a win-win, especially if they stop aggravating people who advertise on the site. Yeah, they've been just losing more and more money as he's come on because he's been so dramatic with his statements and decisions. So maybe stepping aside is for the better of his company actually making money again.
And him, yeah.
Let me ask you this, though. I see him as a narcissist with a capital N.
Okay.
He's not laser eye trading cards, but he's close.
Right.
And I'm wondering, if he can abide A, by this poll, which he said he would, and B, can he let someone take over? Elon is Elon, and I don't think he can be a puppet leader or feel comfortable being such a narcissist.
But I feel like real leaders don't run the company.
Not a real
it's like
leader.
when you look at the people on Shark Tank, when they absorb a company, they're not like, I'm the CEO and I'm taking calls on my cell phone. They're like, I'll appoint somebody I trust to run this suntan lotion company. I'll move on to my next thing. I don't think people with the kind of personality he has want to do the day-to-day, because the day-to-day minutia of crunching data and
that's what he does, right?
No, he
Tesla,
doesn't.
PayPal,
He doesn't.
SpaceX, these things.
Guys, I know I'm not on the internet that much, so I know what's happening in real life.
Okay, fair.
He doesn't do anything. He's a rich kid. He's never had to work like 12-hour days, staying up all night, pulling all-nighters. He was born on top of a diamond mine.
Emeralds.
So,
let's be real.
Maybe he doesn't want to do the 10 to 10 that you would need to get a job like this done.
Well, I was going to say maybe he's like the big idea person, and
right.
But then he thought his big idea was like firing half the staff, but then he realized he needed a couple of those people, so he offered them opportunities to come back. So maybe he does. That's what I'm saying. He should just probably like take a step.
I know he should, but I don't think
appoint somebody who's really, really good at leading.
But I don't think
he needs to save face, so he needs to figure
but
out.
But I also wouldn't bow out with this little bit of a win. Like, I need a landslide. Tell me like 2-98. You need me to go, and I'm out of there.
So, all right, let's see what you guys think. Should Musk step down? 82% of you say yes. Wow. No, 17% of you. Wow, that's a big margin. Is that big enough?
Well, that's big enough.
Okay.
Yeah. The 42 to 58 or whatever. Yeah, that wasn't good enough for me.
He calls it a town square, then run by the town square rules, right? Well, if Elon is not going to run Twitter.
Can we stop with the town square?
I know, it's so annoying.
It's overused for sure.
Hear ye, hear ye. All right, who should run it? Snoop Dogg has thrown his hat into the ring. I am not kidding. He put up his own poll asking if he should take over the social media platform. And the results so far are overwhelmingly in his favor. I also voted in this poll.
Oh, my God.
So, what do you think of Snoop running Twitter? And if not Snoop, who? And I know we're laughing, but there was a time we laughed that Trump was going to run for president and that Kanye West could possibly run too, and they both did, and one won. So let's not laugh that this is out of the realm of possibility.
No, I'm going to laugh at the headline that's on our screen right now.
What?
Snoop is not from this planet. He is all worldly. I am a huge fan fan. And I don't want to see Snoop, just like I was talking about Lindsay, I don't want to see him sitting at a desk crunching numbers, arguing with a couple of assistants. I want to see Snoop out handing people Coronas on the beach and making cereal and making raps and hanging out with Martha. I don't think people realize, like, the CEO thing, it's cool to put on your business card, but it's a ton of work. You have your own media company. You know, it's not just like the easy part of like, I own this. It's the day-to-day.
He's an entrepreneur, though, Snoop, as well.
Well, that's why I wanted to throw my name in the ring. I definitely could take over Twitter. No, I really don't know. Like, who can run it? It's probably somebody who's working in Silicon Valley right now, somebody who actually understands the inner working of how to make something that on that scale work. Maybe look at Facebook, look at some other companies that are doing well.
You do understand how it works. You find somebody that's knowledgeable in the area.
Yeah, a lot of companies steal the best person from one company and move them to a different one. That's life.
We don't need to go, what about this guy from the WWE? He seems good. We need a nerd. Let's go get a nerd that loves to crunch numbers and loves to push things forward and get them. That's who gets us anywhere, is nerds. They've done everything. So let's get some more.
Okay. I would argue, though, that he is somewhat of a nerd. I'm going to move on, but he's a coding nerd.
No, he's not.
Yes, you're wrong about that. He works 12-hour days and codes. You're wrong.
Oh, you sat with him?
No, yeah, we're close.
Oh.
Where did you hear that?
On his blog.
There we go.
Speaking of Elon Musk, check this out. Oy, Vegas mayor. He was seen yesterday at the World Cup finale with Jared Kushner, no less. If you don't know, that's Trump's son-in-law. We've also got to give a big shout-out, though, to Argentina.
Yes.
And it starred Lionel Messi for taking home the World Cup. It was an amazing game against the defending champs, Le Français, the French, that ended in a good old shootout. And look at the crowds gathered to watch the final game in Buenos Aires. That's a whole lot of fans. Sorry I said it with the accent.
No, it's
Buenos Aires.
Awesome.
I'm sorry.
I
shouldn't have said it.
Way.
I'm sorry. We are all so happy for you. Did you guys watch?
Lindsay?
Well, I tried to read about it in the New York Times, and I wasn't understanding what happened. It said, oh, nothing like this has ever happened. This is like out of a movie. So can you break it down for the people that are very happy for the team that won, but don't know what's going on?
Yes, like it was initially like a blowout. You know, it's 2-0. And
France.
2-0, and it looked like it was going to be over. And then France scored 2 goals to tie it.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, we had a game. They go into extra periods. It ended up going into a penalty kick, which is very rare. That's when it's just the goalie and the one guy.
Like the Old West.
Yes, it really is. You only get that moment very rarely in soccer. And for an Elimination World Cup game, you never see this. So, I mean, it was super exciting. The only thing is it was happening at like 10 in the morning. Oh. So it's
always odd timing for us.
It's different, but I really enjoyed it. Tori, you watch a lot of sports.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you watch this.
I do. I did watch some, but I have a hard time with soccer as with hockey. I can't see the puck, the ball.
Can't follow it close enough.
Can't follow, and I don't know the rules.
Don't you have a high-def TV?
Yeah.
You can't see it?
I mean, I can, but I choose not to.
Okay, there we go. You can't see it because you're on another channel.
Yeah, I do. And it's funny because it's so globally loved, soccer, except for like here, which I should get
But shout out to France and Mbappe, my favorite last name.
How cool
he balled out of control yesterday.
He did. It was huge. I do know him. He coming up on DBL.
Is he signing a contract?
It's Buenos Aires. Our interview with Get Smart actress Barbara Feldon. What was it like playing Agent 99 in one of the top sitcoms of the 60s? And yes, holiday shipping deadlines are here, y'all. Are you one of the many people who procrastinate, or did you get all of your shopping done early?
It's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family to yours, we want to wish you
a happy holiday season.
A happy holiday season. I think whatever. Yeah, let's talk about the Jared Kushner thing really quick. If you don't know, he's married to Ivanka. Happily Jewish. Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Okay. Oh, yes.
They are Jewish. She converted.
Pause. I want to ask you what you think about the New York Times
swastika.
Because also, like, I'm tired of people pretending like things just go above everybody. Like, are the people that ridiculous that they can't see?
Thank you. If you had followed my
no one saw. And every time somebody like, I didn't know.
If you don't know what's going on, first of all, on my Instagram, I show the whole thing.
Okay.
And then I talk about it, not noticing it at first, but then I took that down. If you didn't know, the New York Times puzzle on Sunday in the magazine had the outline of what looked very similar to the black parts and the white parts,
Before anything was filled in.
With anything that, not filled in, a swastika. Now, someone pointed it out and said, this is weird, it's the first night of Hanukkah, and they said, of course, we didn't know. However, if you go back last year, the first night of Hanukkah, also a swastika that they made a mistake happen. So this is the second year in a row.
Do you think that they're doing brand new crosswords every
Don't they have kind of like general?
They have holiday ones, yeah. Well, here's the other thing. The words in there were like oven ready and like the Brandenburg Gate about, yeah. So really weird words to place. And I'm not saying that the New York Times is anti-Semitic. Do I think it might have been a mistake? Yeah, but it was overlooked by a lot of people.
Bad accidents happen, so either they have the worst luck with just random
Totally, the
placement.
same day.
But I also think that's ridiculous
The
that
same
no one
day,
pointed
2
that
years
out.
in a row.
But Twitter pointed it out.
I don't know. Of course you don't. I don't know. I don't think they're anti-Semitic at all, but I actually know the owner.
I think it was too.
They're not, and I think they're Jewish.
I think that they used it probably the same kind of
grid,
outline grid. For, how many different kind of
I do know
combinations
the
can
owners, the Salzburgers, and they are not. They are. Some of them are Jewish. Like this isn't a thing that they're doing on purpose. It was a very unfortunate accident, and if you went to the website, oven ready was highlighted.
But again, like you have to. It's like Lindsay said.
Wait,
like there
what?
needs to be somebody there. Like, hey.
Do you think you could name a kid Garland?
Sure.
Yes.
I think that's a nice name. Welcome back. The holidays are here. In fact, Hanukkah started just last night. Chag Sameach for those that are watching, but it seems like millions across the country could see very, very cold temperatures later this week that might interfere with holiday travel. Also, today is the big cutoff date for online shopping. So if you want to get your packages in for Christmas, now is the time. Speaking of that, what kind of shopper are you? Turns out women shop earlier, purchase more gifts, and make more trips to stores, while men are 2.5 times more likely to wait until the very last couple of days to do their holiday shopping. In fact, 25% of men, that's a quarter of all men, do their shopping on December 24th. So what do you think of people who procrastinate like this, and what kind of shopper are you?
I'm better because I have kids, only because I have kids. But, you know, I was talking to my ex-wife yesterday, and I was like, almost upset with her because she had done all the shopping already. I was like, how did you do this? I was like, you've been thinking about this a month and a half ago. Like, it was so, but it's like weird. Because there's not this crazy run up to like, Lindsay, you go to this store and then we'll meet back and you got to do 80 to get this to FedEx. It's just kind of when it's done, I just like it. I think this is my new MO now.
Yeah, I'm usually really good. Like I'm talking about like October.
Wow.
Just seeing things for people like, oh, I'm just going to put that to the side. Al's like judging me right now.
That's great.
I know, but
I'm in awe of you.
No, but this year I failed miserably. And mostly I think because Colin and I share a birthday month. And so we just been in celebrations. Like we just got back from Houston. This would have been a great weekend to holiday shop, but we decided to celebrate ourselves. Shout out to A-Life in Houston. If you're out there, definitely go visit. But we had another party. But like, that's the thing. It's like, we didn't get any gifts yet. So I'm going to show up in love in New York.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
No, I'm
Just make sure to give them this speech.
I'm
like,
gonna
okay,
show
guys, we had a party.
I'm giving you love. Because you know what? Colin's birthday always gets skipped. His birthday's the 24th. And so he's like, no, I'm celebrating this year. I'm celebrating up until the day before Christmas. Like, we're literally going to do something else in New York because he's adamant about not being skipped over. So if you have any Christmas Eve kids, you need to do a separate thing for them, or Christmas.
That's fair.
But anyway, yeah, so we got to get our gifts on the 23rd. So we're those people as a couple.
Amazon is fine.
Well, today's the day. I got to decide for everybody if we do it today.
Yeah, quick. I like to do.
Or you could go to a store.
No one's doing that.
I might go to the store on the 23rd just to see like what's what.
No, I'm kidding. Many people go to the store. I am a dedicated online shopper, sitting by the fire with Christmas music on, getting me deals from Retail Me Not, Rakuten. I like all the deals.
Yeah, I can't do anything without a deal. I literally Google until I find a proper coupon code.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Coming up on DBL, you know her as Agent 99 in Get Smart. Barbara Feldon is telling us all about her new memoir featuring some must-hear stories from the 60s.
Be honest, when you're packing for a trip, how often do you do the wallets, keys, cell phone, tickets check? Verify viewer Angel texted us to ask whether that check needs to include ensuring you have the right ID, or more specifically, a real ID. So Angel, let's verify. Do you currently need a real ID to fly in the US? Our sources are the Department of Homeland Security and the DMVs in California, Texas, and North Carolina. In 2005, Congress passed a law that set a new federal standard for states to take when verifying a person's identity to issue an ID. Our DMV sources say these real IDs are signified by a star in the top right corner. The law originally required people to have a real ID by 2008 if they wanted to board an airplane or enter secure federal facilities, like a courthouse or military base. But states asked for several extensions, and the deadline was pushed back a number of times. As of 2022, 17 years after the law was passed, DHS estimated less than half of state or territory-issued IDs are compliant, meaning more than 100 million people don't have a real ID. But now, they'll get plenty of extra time to upgrade. The federal government delayed plans to start enforcing the Real ID law until May 7th, 2025. So, no, you don't currently need a real ID to fly, but you will in about 2.5 years. In addition to a real ID, you can use a passport or some other federally issued photo ID in 2025. The changes will continue to exempt children under 18 from needing an ID, and you'll still need a passport if you're traveling internationally. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. She went by Agent 99 in one of the top sitcoms of the 60s, Get Smart. Now she's getting smarter with her new memoir that chronicles her adventures into the world of being an actress. Check out our conversation with the lovely Barbara Feldon.
Listen, 99, I think we can buy some time if one of us helps the other one up on their shoulder.
Good thinking, 86.
Right, here, give me a boost.
No, Max, wouldn't it be better if I got on your shoulders?
Oh, yeah, right.
What's wrong, Max?
99, I think you better give me a 1, 2, 3, up.
Well, we just saw a clip from Get Smart that you and Don Adams had, and you all had what we call great chemistry. And I wanted to know what your dynamic was like behind the scenes, because we all have that here, we think.
Yeah, I think you all have it there, too.
Oh, thanks, Barbara.
Actually, the chemistry between Agent 99 and Maxwell Smart was amazing from the very beginning. The chemistry between Don and me, not so much.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we were very nice to each other, but we just didn't have much to say, and I don't think we had 3 conversations in 5 years.
Wow.
However, after the show ended, we didn't see each other for 20 years. And when we finally worked together again, it was as though some little sweet seed had been planted earlier that had sprouted and blossomed into this lovely, affectionate friendship. That lasted for the rest of Don's life.
So you landed Get Smart in 1965 in a male-dominated industry. You were one of the first female leads in a comedy. Did it feel like a big responsibility at the time?
I wish that I could say it did, but at the time, I was just really happy to be working. And it was before the women's movement, and I think really that Agent 99 was probably more of a feminist than I was at that time. I was absolutely blind to there being anything wrong with there being no women directors or producers or writers on our show. I was in like a little box that everybody else was in too, with no windows out, and we couldn't look out and even imagine possibilities for equality for women. So no, I wasn't feeling responsible, but I'm really grateful that things have changed. And I think that your show is a great example of that, right?
Absolutely. As you were talking, Barbara, I was looking around the studio and just like how you don't even think about like, oh, there's women in the studio. Of course there is, but you know, you were at the bottom floor for all this starting. So you were part of the women's movement, whether you know it or not. We need to get to this unforgettable commercial with you, and it's about a men's dandruff gel. So let's just roll that.
I want a word with all you tigers Oh, you men know which ones you are. I like you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you say in your memoir that you realized very quickly that your body would make you money, which is fair. Now, how does it feel to watch this commercial back?
I am appalled to see rolling around on an endangered species. I mean, I don't think that's a choice we would make today, but actually making the commercial was fun. It was tongue-in-cheek kind of sex and not serious, and I'm sorry about that, all you tigers.
But we all have things we look back on and wish we did a little bit differently.
That's right.
So Getting Smarter is full of juicy stories. Tell us about the Frenchman who lived a double life and swept you off your feet. Is it true that you thought the KGB was chasing you because of him?
Absolutely. This story, this sort of romantic adventure, which went on for quite a number of years, actually, is the core of my memoir. I'd for so long wanted to tell the story of meeting this glamorous Frenchman who was beautiful and brilliant, and I married him, and then shortly found out that he was living a double life. And that's where the adventures began. And that's why I found myself on the street in my trench coat, looking over my shoulder, trying to see if the KGB was following me, which actually is kind of ironic because 2 years later, I was doing Get Smart in the same trench coat and looking over my shoulder and trying to escape from chaos.
Oh, there's so many good stories in here, Barbara. Thank you so much. To our viewers, pick up a copy of Barbara's memoir, Getting Smarter, available on barbarafelden.com or on Amazon. It would make a great gift. Thank you so much, Barbara.
Please come back.
We'll be
Thank
right
you,
back.
Barbara.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Same to you.
If you're getting texts like these, you're not alone. The texts claim to be from the United States Postal Service, saying a package can't be shipped or delivered without more information. But are they the real deal? Let's verify with these sources. Right away, we found multiple reports on this kind of text on the Better Business Bureau scam tracker. Posts indicating the text linked to a fake USPS website, asking for a redelivery fee. Meanwhile, the United States Postal Inspection Service warns of such scams, and postal inspectors say to watch out. While the Postal Service does offer tools to track packages, we verified that USPS will not send you a text or email unless you sign up for notifications first. And that's only for a tracking number for a package you're expecting. Official text will not include a link. Cybersecurity expert Andy Green says criminals are always after your money or personal information, and they're counting on people being easily distracted by the holiday season.
We're reacting instead of thinking, and that is a right mental state, psychological state for us to be taken advantage of as victims by criminals.
So yes, we can verify scam text messages impersonating the United States Postal Service are circulating. So don't click the link and stay alert this holiday season. With your Fast Facts, I'm Liza Lucas.
More than 100,000 people have seen this video of TikTok user Sarah discovering just how much caffeine there is in one of these Panera Bread Company drinks.
Mango yuzu citrus charged lemonade. Woo, this is gonna be a whirlwind.
And much of the buzz is actually concern about this much buzz. So let's verify. Is too much caffeine dangerous?
We learned the answer from several sources, and we checked Panera's website, where we see a regular 20-ounce mango yuzu citrus charged lemonade has 260 milligrams of caffeine.
Look what you're doing!
The FDA, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and Dr. Alan Taylor all say yes, too much caffeine can be dangerous.
It is a stimulant. Increases blood pressure, it increases the rate at which the heart contracts.
But how much caffeine is too much caffeine isn't so clear. The FDA says, in general, adults can have up to 400 milligrams of caffeine over the course of a day. That's 4 or 5 cups of coffee before feeling the negative impacts. But that can vary based on age, body type, or other medications or medical conditions, the time over which the caffeine is consumed, and how much someone is used to drinking.
There is tolerance to these stimulants that develops.
The American Academy of Pediatrics mostly recommends against caffeine for kids and teens.
But even an average healthy adult feeling any of these symptoms,
insomnia, jitters, anxiety, a rapid heart rate, stomach issues, headache, even dysphoria, a feeling of unhappiness.
You can actually get caffeine toxicity.
might want to switch to water for a bit. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Great work, Rob. Welcome back.
Why are you giving him the side eye then? You're like, great work, Rob.
I didn't mean it like that.
Okay.
I take back the sarcasm. Welcome back. We have an update to a story we talked about last week. If you recall, former President Trump released these digital trading cards for purchase, showing him dressed in all, stop it, Lindsay, sorts of various outfits. Well, now it turns out people online are accusing him of using copywritten images from the web for those outfits. For example, here's Trump's trading card showing him wearing a cowboy duster jacket, and that looks very similar to these images from Amazon.
He's wearing a belt now. It's like the highlights magazines. You got to find out. He's got a belt and
put a star on the side.
Yes.
Then there is the astronaut suit. Let's not forget, it appears closely to resemble an image from a Wired magazine article. Finally, the fighter pilot suit seems to be copied from a Shutterstock image. The clasp in the middle looks identical. I did hear that people who got emailed their NFTs had the watermark still of the copyright on them.
Oh.
Huh?
I think it just, it does, like, answer the question, how lazy? How lazy can you be? And that's just like when you're 10 minutes before class and somebody's just like, cut and paste it, bro. I'll put the head on for you. That was really, it really shows, it smacks of disrespect to your consumer base, that like, I value you so much, so little, that this is what I feel like you'll be happy with.
Or I think it's like disrespectful to the American people to think that Twitter is they win every time. They find the
Yes,
connection.
that's a good
Like,
point.
I am thinking first, how could you find the 3 different sources to match those images? But Twitter always wins and
It's an
always
image
will
search.
do it.
It's easy.
I Googled, just
image
said
reverse search.
astronaut
Really?
outfit.
Dude,
I'm sure it was as
yeah.
lazy as you think.
What I thought is, what if he had done this well? And I can't believe I'm even saying this. He did make money. 12,000 people bought 45,000. He made $1 million plus, right?
An artist on Fiverr is like $20 an hour.
And someone resold it for $6,000, right? But if he had done it well, perhaps, I'm just trying to see the other side. It just is so lazy from what you said. I agree.
It's just lazy, and it's like, yeah, you can give people stuff that isn't that great, but when you do give them good stuff, they'll appreciate it and they'll probably buy more. You can always get somebody once, but if these were good and people were like, this is kind of cool, maybe you could have sold more spacemen and more outfit changes.
DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.